Hello, everyone. Welcome to 12th London Kurdish Film Festival, presenting Global Kurdish Film Festival edition to you. And we are welcoming Zanyar Adami, a film director, with us. Thank you for watching his film. We're going to have a quick a question and answers with him, and he's happy to be with us. And I'm going to give a little bit information about Zanyar, and then I'm gonna start asking some questions. Hello, Zanyar. Thanks for coming.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Zanyar Adami is founder of award-winning magazine called Gringo, and he has worked as a journalist, writer, and entrepreneur before entering in filmmaking. He is among other the founder of the Danton film, co-founder of Miklo Momento film, and also he is the founder of Stockholm Kurdish Film Festival.
Yeah.
Zanyar has produced a couple of short films, and these documentary feature film that you watched just now, the Guerilla Son, and we are going to have a quick conversation with him. Hello, Zanyar. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So thanks for that introduction. So I would say I live in Stockholm. I'm born in Rojhalat. Came to Sweden when I was 5. Some of this you know if you saw the film. And I started as a journalist and then filmmaking. And actually, I'm also a novelist now because my first novel is coming out this year in Sweden, and it's a lot of it is set in Kurdistan. Half of it is set in Kurdistan, half in Sweden. So, and I'm still, I'm working on a feature film that's also set in Kurdistan. So,
That feature fiction, or is it
fiction?
documentary?
Yeah, exactly.
Fiction.
Yes.
And what stage are you in at the moment?
Well, I am development script still. Hopefully, in a couple of years, you will.
And you're going to shoot it in Kurdistan?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay, that's brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Zanyar. I think what we watched was quite, in a personal level, quite intense reflection of somebody's personal experience, and it was very emotional, very deep story of yourself. We became so so invested in your story as well. We just so attached to it. Every Kurd living diaspora has quite similar experience. Everyone has some sort of difficulties that they experience when they were moving to when they were displaced, when they had to flee. So it's been about 10 years after this film. So it's made in 2011. And so how is it going at the moment? Can you just tell us, how's your family? How's your father? How's your son? A little bit update about him. How about
Well, it's I mean, that film was really a starting point for breaking the silence that was in my family, and I know many other families where you don't really talk about the difficulties in the past, and a lot of parents, like my father, wants to keep it quiet. But after that, we opened up and we talked more and more, and it just was a very healthy start for our family. So my father is doing quite well, and my mother as well, and also my boys are now 11 and 10, and I also have daughters now. I have a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old daughter, so I'm really Kurdish, a lot of kids.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, so but it's also was also part of for my children to know about their past, because for us in the diaspora growing up here, it's we're the only ones who can keep the Kurdish heritage, and making the film was one way of showing this is where we're from, and this is our, your grandfather and so on. And also the novel I talked about is also about that, to document really what we've been through and what we bring to the new country, and how to deal with the traumas that we suffer in different ways, but maybe the emotions are pretty similar regardless of what what you're subjected to. So and I'm it's 10 years and it's been quite a while, but somehow it seems like it's still
Mhm.
you know
So the film
yeah,
itself played quite significant role in your personal life. So it was almost healing
yeah,
your wound. So that's what you're saying, and that's what I'm hearing. And I think it's quite important that we, and quite meaningful to me as well. Maybe starting to reflect your own personal life, which is the reality. We don't need to go too far. So as a Kurd, we actually live in reality, and our life is a film. Our life is a story, and that your experience, I think, is a great example of that. We're not like a community that needs to produce something out of nothing. And I think this is very good example, Zanyar.
yeah,
Um, I want to also find out about what you actually answered that question. What made you to decide to make that documentary film about it? How did you get that inspiration to just
yeah.
continue for over years? And I think, if I'm not wrong, it just took a couple of years to finish this.
Yeah, it took 3 years. Wasn't at all, as personal as it became, and I was pretty reluctant to make it a film about me. And at first, it was about manhood and masculinity. It was supposed to be a series, but then I interviewed my father, and something happened there that made it more and more personal. And there was a shift where I kind of realized if I can be as personal as possible, probably that will make it a bit more universal. So my hope was, I mean, it has been healing for my family, but that it would start conversations in other families. And when I get that response that I've gotten from quite a few, it just makes me so happy that you can see and reflect yourself. And I think that's what, when films are really powerful, or they're working as this emotional machine, it's when you
Mm.
actually start seeing yourself and start changing maybe your
In
view.
that point, can I ask a question? So
Yeah,
you were directing your own story, but you were also subject of your own
yeah,
story.
yeah,
And how was that experience for you? Making a film, but also being filmed
yeah. So
by yourself.
I had a co-director which was very helpful in that, because when
Mhm.
we were shooting I could just let go and just try to be, in a weird way, I was more honest when the camera was on, because I knew as a director I would edit myself and I would know immediately when it's not real.
Mhm.
So, so the camera became this truth seeker, and that helped me in but in a way also seeing yourself as a character and not only as a person.
Mhm.
That's a little conflicting. So I had to put the director's hat and then take it off and try to be myself as much as possible in my process, and then jump in and out of that. And having David as my co-director was that was it would have been much more difficult to do it just by myself. So that's why I chose to have a co-director in this.
Co-director. Okay. And you talk about what you are doing at the moment. I mean, you're quite active in your professional life. Can you tell us a little bit about what is your next project? What
Yeah.
what are you gonna be doing next? So your next film, and what are you doing at the moment?
Well, I'm really excited about my last film. I'm just in the finishing stages of a film. It's a short film, and my son is starring in this film. So, and
Okay,
it's
especially playing.
he's playing, not the one in the Guerrilla Son, his little brother. He's playing in that film, and we're just finishing it. And it's also based on a personal story that I wrote in my novel, and it's an adaptation of a part of my novel that's become this
Film.
film. Yeah. So this one I'm working on right now, film wise. Yeah, I'm
Can
finishing
you
my novel.
remind the name of the novel, please, Daniel?
The novel is glass. In English, it would be Glass Boy. Glaspojken.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and the film is Helmet. So I think even English and
In
Swedish.
Helmet, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are the things that I work on. But I've also worked for quite a few years with a feature that is inspired by my mother's story as a
Mhm.
Peshmerga, and her choice to leave her child and become, keep fighting, and
Mm.
what that did to her and her process, and that's a fiction feature that I've been working on for years. And I'm just, I had two kids again, so I had to do smaller projects, but now I'm just starting that project up again. And my aim is to shoot it in
That's amazing.
in a couple of years. Yeah.
So your family is your almost run as a family film production. Everybody,
Yeah, I'm
everybody's
using
quite
everyone.
active.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
are actors.
definitely. I'm trying to make stories about, other things, but as you said, as a Kurdish, in our
Yeah.
family, I don't have to go anywhere else to find these strong
Mhm.
stories and the urge to tell them. So yeah, anyone in my family will be dragged in somehow.
Yeah. Well, this is quite good example, Zanya, and it is very inspiring. I mean, your story, your initiatives, and the potential that you created, and the change that you made in your society and in yourself. I think is a very good example for especially the Kurds who live in diaspora, who have been displaced. So it is almost, to me, is like we're not giving up. We want to continue. We want to document what we've done for the next generation,
Yeah.
and we are searching for these examples as a film festival organizers, producers, and we are really looking for that. And that's is going to link to my next question. Because you are quite active and you are also following, the Kurdish film sector. And what is your thoughts on Kurdish cinema? How would you describe Kurdish cinema, if it's possible, with one sentence, Daniel?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty newborn, vibrant, uh, powerful, you right now, that it's growing and it's coming, uh, and it's such a big part of our culture that people are starting to formulate themselves in visuals and sound more, which we really need as a community.
Hmm. Hmm. And can you give us one name of a film, a Kurdish film that inspired you so much that you think that this is, I think, a good example?
Recent or any from any time?
Any kind of any film that you see that as a good kind of a model within the Kurdish film industry, and so far in the film history.
Yeah. Well, of course, Yilmaz Güney's films are always up there. You can't. He's great, but also I like Hisham Zaman films.
Okay,
Yeah, I think he's great.
he's
And there's so many more, but just
yeah.
mentioning two directors, I would
Okay.
mention those two. Yeah.
And Zanyar, gelek spas ji bo her tiştî. What would you advise to young kind of Kurdish film directors who's just entering into that business or that area, filmmaking area? What would you advise to them?
Well, I would say start with yourself. You probably have a strong story there somewhere that needs to be
Mhm.
told, and you know just do it. Don't wait too long or study too long or read too much. Just try it, because it's so practical and you'll learn
Mhm.
throughout the way. Find friends, find other people who are interested, and go out, write, shoot, and just do it. Just try it, and you can fail. It's okay. Just make another film. That's the way to do it, I think.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much, Zanyar. Zanyar Abadi, who's been with us, and he
Adam. Yeah.
Adami.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Zanyar Adami showed a great example, actually, in Kurdish diaspora, who grew up in diaspora and produced such a great potential in the film industry. He's quite well known and quite active in Sweden, and he's now planning to produce his first fiction feature film. And we wish him luck. Thank you very much, Zanyar, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's an honor.
Gelek spas ji bo hatnete, tevlibunete.
Zor spas.
Thank you all for watching this Q&A with Zanyar Adami, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of the films that screen today. And please continue to be with us and watch all the Q&As and conversation with other film directors. Have a good day.